Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Joe Show. I'm your host, Joseph Decker. This is 3 shows in the last 8 days. We've been trying to get as much content out for you guys. Tonight, we got a coaches show. I like to do a show every week or two where it's only coaches who come on and we kind of talk a little bit. And today, we're joined by Coach Ryan Bonner of Ashland Blazer. Talk about a winner, man. The guy knows his stuff, and he's been a killer, at Ashland so far. 3 years as the head coach, 3 straight region titles, making it to Rupp. So I'm interested to talk to Coach today. Got to talk to him a lot off Coach Tavon Johnson, who is in 5th region coach of the year. So I'm excited to talk to Coach Tavon because Coach Tavon's a good friend of mine off the floor. Superb basketball coach, really good basketball mind. Coach Brett Decker 2 years ago, who a lot of us are very familiar with, now playing at Liberty. That was one of his top guys. Ace Jaggers, Jacob Fredrickson, had a lot of talent up there in E-Town who played with him at Central Hardin. But, man, he's a really good ball coach. Coaching with Kentucky Basketball Club right now. At the Pro Kentucky Shoe Circuit team. He's coaching their oldest team. So going to be a really good chat with him today. And he's just a superb guy. I'm really excited to have him on. Fixing all of our social medias right now, making sure everybody can tune in and watch the show today. I appreciate all the recent love and support, of course. And we'll be sharing this on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, obviously, if you want to watch. The good thing about our shows is that once you see them, they're still on our social media. So say you couldn't catch the show, say you were a few minutes late, you'll be all right. You can still tune in. Say you missed the whole show, you're good. You're even better. You can come back and watch it later and set it up at the right time for yourself. But sharing this to our groups, getting everything out right now, and then we'll be good to go. We've added a new sponsor to the sponsor list, so I'm interested to talk about them today. Remember, if you'd like to join our sponsor group, we'd love to have you. We'd love to promote your brand and business. That's just one of my favorite things I do here is promote other people's business, especially when they're young entrepreneurs, like our show sponsor, Clark Agritech. And let's go ahead and get this all shared on social media. One big thing we'll be talking to Coach Tavon Johnson about today is the Central Hardin Shootout, which Coach Tavon has planned. I seen Coach Tavon just joined, so we'll get on him. He'll be on here after Coach Bonner. We'll talk. Going to give both these guys as much time as they want to speak. Really want to talk to them today. And we'll give Coach Tavon a lot of time to talk about the Central Hardin Shootout, which is coming up Friday. His team in the 5th region, he's got one of the most underrated players in the state in Camden Hogan. But let's talk about our social media sponsors today. Pelican Snowball, that is Salem and Jill Lockhart in Bowling Green, Kentucky. They are consistently the best sweet treat in the area. I love doing business with them. They are great people. They're big-time supporters of the community as well. They also help out elementary schools. They come to elementary schools, set up, sell for the kids, sell for the students. They do it at all levels. They come, they bring a food truck. It's pretty cool. They got a really good group of people. Been in business for a while. They do some great work. Stice Insurance Agents, that's Ron Stice out of Edmonson County and Bowling Green, Kentucky. He does insurance in the 3rd and 4th region. Superb guy, great person. Love having him along. Me and him actually spoke at a panel together. That's how I kind of got to talk to Ron a little bit and get things figured out with him. Superb guy. Like I said, I'm really excited on the sponsor list. And then the Truckers Network. This is one because you hear, we're sponsoring another podcast. We're trying to bring even more views and even more attention to them. The trucking podcast is kind of called the road ahead and all things trucking. Got a lot of truckers who actually support the show. One of my good friends, Craig Bailey, dad of Deuce Bailey, longtime trucker. So it's kind of cool to see all those things linked together. But when you're on the road, they have a great podcast. They talk all thing in the industry, safety tips, products, all kinds of things like that. It's their first time here as a guest today, so I'm excited to have them on there. If you'd like to contact them, 866-244-0677. They're available to listen to their podcast on any type of social media platform, and also Google Play, Apple Podcasts, all of those above, Spotify. So it makes it really easy. United Country Real Estate is Chris Gravel out of Edmonds County, Kentucky. Chris Gravel's a longtime friend of mine. He's the Swiss Army knife of business. He does auction. He does LLC. He does realty. He does auction. He does a little bit of everything, but he's got a really good family around him and support group. We've had his son, Wyatt Gravel from Warren East on the show. He'll be headed up to Brussia to play college basketball this season, so big fan of the Gravel family. Gravel Funeral Home. We stay in the family a little bit. Roy Gravel, I call him the WKU super fan, the man of Bowling Green sports. Superb person, great guy to be around. He runs Gravel Funeral Home in Brownsville, Kentucky. Cheap, good price is affordable. I know you never really want to look forward to that, but you got to be planned. You got to have things ready, and he's a great guy to do the business and run things through. Big fan of Roy, and thanks for sponsoring the podcast. And then our behind-the-scenes guys, Ronald Scott Lindsay from Edmonson County, Kentucky. He runs all of our tech and our media behind the scenes. And then the man, the myth, the legend, Cooper Clark with Clark Agritech Applicators, a show sponsor, another young entrepreneur out of the 3rd, 4th region area. Cooper Clark does a lot of farm work. He's a sprayer. He loves to get in there and get involved with chemicals and help farmers ours, and he's an all around great guy, great human being, and he loves to help others. And he's not an expensive guy to work with. I like to put guys and sponsors here on our group that can work with everybody, not just for the rich or for the poor. They can help everybody. So that's a big thing I like to promote. But I really want to make a big shout out to all of our sponsors today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in early here, and let's go ahead and get ready for our first guest. Our first guest today, like I said, he's a true winner. The guy's won at multiple levels. He's a beast, though. That's what I tell you. I know he does a little bit of music too off the scenes. I see he can. I have to bring that up to him. Played football at EKU. The man's an all around to the show. Coach Ryan Bonner, what's up, man? How you doing?
On Coach Joe, right? I can call you that now. I got to see you in action. That was.
Hey, nah, man. But no, if there was a coach that I'd be like, man, I got to take some advice from, you'd be one of the first names I contact. Coach, how have you been this offseason? How's the team look? Kind of tell us about Ashland Blazer basketball and what we kind of can expect from the team this year. Is there any new names? I know you guys lose a few pieces. Just kind of keep us up with what's going on in Ashland.
Obviously, we lost three very, very talented teams. Carter, Preston Austin, Tyson Lund. I mean, Ava. I hate to go, and I know they're going to put Ivy box. All three, but I love what we. In terms of new faces, we had Elijah Owen, who first varsity all around play, class 29, fresh, but does not play that way. Well above. We're really about. We also got another class of 29 in Braylon Wilson, who's also from the Huntington area. Actually, Braxton Jennings, if you remember that name.
Yeah.
Little brother.
Okay.
Class of 29, going to be a fantastic basketball player. We added arguably one of the best freshman classes. Very we're probably about we go first to play one. We but at this point, we're just trying to get an evaluation of our team, especially when you talk about what we lost. We evaluate not in just the micro pieces of the game. How do we respond to adversity when a team goes on an 8-0 run? When things aren't going our way, are we responding the right way? When we have to have a big play, that guy step up and do that for us. Those are kind of that way when we that's what we as we move into the fall.
For sure, Coach. You mentioned a big-time name in Elijah Neal, who I'm a fan of. And for Elijah's age, man, I really like how he plays the game. I think he's got a chance to be one of the better guards in the 16th and statewide. He's coming off a big-time year, had some big-time varsity minutes, played in the state tournament. When you're coaching a young group like this, a lot of guys who's coming up, not a ton of returners who might have played a lot of big minutes last season. Is there a different way you coach them? Are you as hard as them? How do you approach that? Is it a different approach a little bit?
Well, I don't think our hold them to the same. But I don't think the others that were around that last 2045, and particularly we're able to observe how our seniors how they operated from day to day, and those three guys always did it the right way. And guys like Elijah Neal got to see that, breathe that. That's how you think culture.
Yeah.
And Elijah's doing a great job emerging two Elijahs. Elijah, I got to figure that out. I told him nickname or something. No, Elijah Neal, our class of 27 point guard. Excellent leader. I don't have to micromanage our offense at all. I can turn it loose to him, and he can create his own offense. And for me, that's great because I can micromanage a little bit more, which
For sure. No, he's definitely one of my favorites in that class. I know he's been playing, I think, on the big shot circuit. He's been killing it recently for his age, making a lot of noise, too. You know, that's a good kind of circuit to play on. They got big-time social media. So to see him consistently kind of being one of the top performers there has to show a lot, and it's got to make you proud as a coach. You know, I want to talk about the 16th region a little bit because for these past years, it's kind of felt like a Boyd County versus Ashland Blazer kind of consistently. It kind of feels like it's going to be those two teams. I know Boyd has added some pieces. They kind of look to reload and battle again this year. But how does the 16th region look as a whole? Who's some teams that we could maybe watch make some noise? Last year, obviously, we talked about Boyd and Ashland the most, but there was multiple 15-win teams. I think there were 6 or 7 of them. And then you just look at a team like Elliott County, Russell, Raceland, who actually won 22 games last year. Who are some other teams that we can kind of watch in this region that could make some noise that you've kind of seen in action maybe early during the summer? Just kind of tell us how the 16th region will be this year, in your opinion.
I think it'll be great always because you one of the got some boys there. You mentioned them, Elliott County. They returned, I think, the majority of their roster on a team that won almost 20 games last year. And you're talking about a guy in Greg Adkins who's coached them to multiple region titles. So I think they're going to be good. I think Russell has great talent. They've got great guard play, great shooting. Raceland's another team that you mentioned. They return a lot off a team that had a lot of success last year. So there's going to be teams in the mix. And fortunately for us, with this regular season, we are going to be playing a few more region opponents, which is good. So we'll get to see what some teams around our area are made of. But the coaching is always great in the 16th region, and there's great individual talent. So I'm really excited about it, and I look forward to getting going.
Coach, I want to talk about our guy Xander Carter because he's a multiple-time Joe Show appearance. I'm a big fan of Xander. I don't think there is a single person in the state of Kentucky who is not a Xander Carter fan. It's just the impact he made on athletes, even parents, adults, just respecting the way he played basketball, and more importantly, kind of his faith off the floor and kind of how he talked about God and his Christianity. We talked a little bit behind the scenes. You kind of mentioned that was a big impact on your whole team. It influenced kind of all the guys, kept them together. Talk about how you recover, and obviously you might still not have the answers because you got to go through this season, but how do you kind of recover from losing a guy like Xander Carter, and what kind of just made him so special? Because I think when you look down in the past, there's been so many great players to come out of Ashland, but it's hard to put Xander Carter not up there at the very top if it's the impact he made and honestly how great of a player he was. He's going to Liberty, but just kind of tell us about Xander Carter, man, your relationship you got to have with him, how he impacted this program, and how you kind of plan to maybe recover from losing a guy like him.
Well, if I'm I can go on and on about Xander Carter. So a lot to say about that young man and his contributions to our program. And I say all the time, anytime I'm in an interview, one of the first things I say about Xander, and I've said this a million times, is as much as he contributed to our team on the floor, and everybody across the state knows how much he gave us on the floor, his contributions off the floor were even greater. And, you mentioned his faith, his boldness and his faith, quite frankly, helped connect our locker room and create a chemistry that was really unmatched, and a chemistry that really showed up when you watched us play. He was a guy that led us, I think, the last 2 years, maybe even 3. I know for a fact the last 2 years in every statistical category: points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, you name it. But more importantly, just the way he was able to connect our team and bring us together at the right times was really special to watch as a coach. But what made Xander great is, when you talk about a legacy, he gave his all every single day, but he also brought out the best in everybody else around him. And I think that's what it takes to leave a legacy somewhere. And he did that for us. Not only did he give his all every day, he brought the best out in everyone around him, including myself and all the other coaches. And that's what I'll always appreciate the most about Xander. You and I talked a little bit before the show. I'm so excited for him. He leaves this Sunday to go down to Liberty to start his workouts. And I truly believe that he's going to thrive in that environment. It's a perfect fit, perfect program, aligns with everything that he believes in. And, I really think I believe in my heart of hearts that he is Conference USA ready, and there's no doubt about it.
No, for sure. I think Xander Carter, from seeing him at camp, seeing him play up against the top competition through SSB, and then one second, the competition you guys put around, at Ashland last year, it feels like you guys kind of got a taste of probably 10 or 15 of the top teams in the state of Kentucky. Were consistently going up against that best talent, and it was like one of those games where he didn't come out being the top performer or the most up against competition. He's a phenomenal player, coach. These past 3 years for you at Ashland as the head coach have been awesome. I talked about the 3 back-to-back region 16th region championships, but before that you were on staff with Coach Jason Mays. When you got the call, when you kind of knew you were going to take the head coaching position with everything that happened and you were going to be the guy at the helm, while you guys had a lot of talent around and great people around the program, did you expect this much success? Were you confident, like, look, this is our region to kind of dominate these next few years, and I'm going to head coach these guys? Or did you kind of think it would be maybe a year you guys had to battle in the region, maybe not make it, maybe had to have a year or two of kind of having to deal with those early exits? Or did you kind of have an idea that this roster, these guys were good enough to just kind of kill this region and then make it to the state level? Or has this kind of been any type of surprise to you, or did you kind of have an idea this was what was around you?
We knew the talent that existed at Ashland at that time. And more so, there was a great culture to build upon. And, when I took over, I knew what we had. Our coaches knew what we had. And I think everything that we went through created a chip on our shoulder, kind of an us against the world mentality, and gave us an edge and a brand of toughness that allowed us to, I remember saying, guys, if we can find our way through this, then there's no adversity, there's no roadblock, there's no mountain that we can't climb together as long as we stay together. And our guys did a good job of maintaining our chemistry and making sure that our chemistry was at the core of everything that we do. And I think that's had a big part to that's led to all of our success. Now, granted, we've had great talent, but like I said, we've made sure that the chemistry has been at the core of everything.
Coach, in just a short week, honestly, it's kind of still a week. It's about 9 days away. The Lexington Catholic Live period starts the 20th, 21st, 22nd. It's consistently been the biggest event every year in Kentucky, and this year it moves to Lexington Catholic, where it was formerly at Collins. You guys are in it. Kind of tell us about your schedule up there, kind of some of the times you guys play. Then tell us where else we can catch you all the rest of this summer.
Yeah, so leading up to that live event, like I said, we're going to be at University of Dayton this Saturday. Going to play 3 games there. This coming Tuesday, we're taking our varsity team to Mount St. Joseph University. I just got that schedule back today. We're going to, if there's any players that are watching, we got Newport game 1, so get locked and loaded. I'm really excited about that when I saw that. We're going to play Hughes High School out of Cincinnati up there too, and I think we got Edgewood. So we're going to go up there and play 3 really, really good teams. And then we'll take some time off leading up to Saturday. We play Saturday, Sunday in the live event. So the 21st, 22nd, get a few practice days in. And that Saturday, the 21st, we play Lloyd Memorial at 10 a.m. at Sayre High School, which is awesome because they've got the Anthony Blaker kid, which means that I imagine we'll be playing in front of some coaches. He's really, really good. And then I think we play Lincoln County in game 2 that day. And then Sunday, I can't remember the time off the top of my head, but we got a Sweet 16 rematch against Lyon County. So let's go there. Our guys are excited about that. So that'll be fun. And I'm just looking forward to the whole experience. We're going to take them down Friday. Hopefully find a place to practice down there, feed them good, stay all night. and hopefully use that time away from Ashland as a means to bond and come closer together as a unit heading into dead period.
You mentioned that, Coach. You kind of mentioned the bonding moments. I feel like those guys all getting in a hotel, all of you guys spending those few nights together doing things maybe when games aren't going on. How beneficial is that to building this group together? Because we talked about, obviously, there's some younger guys. They still got a lot of things to figure out. How do things like this, for example, while it might seem small to people, just a 2-day event, these guys being locked in together, how much does that kind of help a team?
It's paramount because, today's game, from a coaching standpoint and a player-to-player standpoint, is so driven on relationships. It's become such a huge factor. And if you can't develop relationships with one another, whether it be player-to-player, coach-to-player, you're never going to reach your full potential as a team. So having that, like I said, having that time away from Ashland, having a good meal together, enjoying time at the hotel, some team meetings and things like that, hopefully allows us to gel a little bit. And we'll have some time off for dead period, and then come July, we'll hit the weights and get back going. But I'm excited. It's in Lexington. I've enjoyed the event in Collins. It's been a blast. But I think this will be a fun change of pace, and I know our guys are excited to play top tier competition and get some college exposure at the same time.
Coach, just kind of picking your brain on another kind of coaching question. I know you kind of said you were excited when you heard you guys had a team like Newport. Probably going to be the favorite in the 9th region this year. They got a high major talent, Griffin Starks, James Turner. They're just a really strong team. And, you kind of seemed excited about that, because it's strong. And it's a great team, even with Lyon County, another very good. Talked about a lot, not discrediting this team, but you do lose a lot of pieces. This is a newer team. You got to figure out some of these guys. We got to see them in action. You don't sound like you have backed away from any type of hard schedule, putting these guys out in front of the players. I feel like I hear coaches talk about it all the time. Games and play the hardest competition in the state of Kentucky, get in 20 games and play nobody. Is that true to you? And how do you kind of do your scheduling when it comes to the off season?
That's 100% my philosophy. I don't get over consumed with definitely summer schedule. That's something that does not, I could really care less how many games we win in the summer. I just want to get an evaluation of our team. And I feel like by playing the best, you do that. And then in terms of regular season, I feel like I owe it to our kids to go out and play the best of the best, because that's part of program building. And we've got to the point now to where our guys expect it, and they don't want anything less. And I also think that by doing that, you create lifelong memories. Like you can't tell me that Xander, Preston, and Tyson 20 years from now won't be talking about the game at Great Crossing and the overtime loss. I mean, we got beat, but what a fun basketball game that was. And I could go on and on, games that we've played in the past. But our guys deserve the challenge, and it's about playing your best basketball at March. And we're not the type of program that runs from adversity. We try to kind of punch it in the nose and just see what happens. And like I said, we're all about trying to be ready and primed up to play our best when March rolls around. So that's kind of my philosophy with scheduling. It won't be any different this year. It'll be a very, very tough schedule. But I like it that way. And like I said, it's got to the point now to where our players, they don't expect anything different.
Or coach, something I wasn't as crazy familiar with, and we got to talk a little bit off the court because basketball is not all of Coach Bonner's life, man. It seems like Eastern Kentucky is a big music area. It's like I know you're a musician yourself. I've seen pictures on social media. I've heard about it, Coach. What do you play? What kind of music is it? And tell us about some of it, man, because it looks super awesome. I talked to Xander about it before. Coach Bonner, an elite basketball coach, but are you a better musician or are you a better basketball coach?
Oh, I just try to fake it through both of them. Now, I tell our guys all the time, like you got to have something, right, outside of the game that you can lean on. For me, first and foremost, it's my family, my wife and kids. But I think it's important to have hobbies things that can take your mind off the stress and the social media anxiety and all those things that come with playing elite level sports. And some people fish, some people hunt, some people golf. Some people play pickleball. I know a bunch of our guys play pickleball. But I'm a musician in my what little free time I do have. We got a local band here, and we do a lot of classic rock and blues covers. I had the opportunity last weekend to play Ethan Sellers, a former player of ours. He was a 1,400 point scorer. He's going into senior year at Cedarville College. I got to play his wedding. Our band got to do that. So it's one of that, and for me that was one of those moments where it's like it's more than basketball. This is what it means right here. So it's pretty cool where the music world and the coaching world has taken me. I've been fortunate to develop a lot of relationships, but yeah, I'm a big music nerd in my free time, and I really enjoy it. And one day when I retire, maybe I'll be down south playing music at tiki bars or something. I don't know.
I would love to see that, Coach, and I got to get my hands on some type of CD. I got to hear this, man. But Coach, one of your very good, close coaching friends, I seen even Coach made a tweet about you guys being at that wedding the other day. Coach Jason Mays, he's coming off a really good year at Montgomery County. I know you guys probably stay in contact all the time and keep up with each other's teams. He's coming off a big time season at Montgomery County. I feel like those guys are really starting to get everything turned and kind of hit. It was a rough first half of the season. Last year wasn't necessarily all cake and candles. But they make the state tournament. They get into some close games, but they ultimately make it deep into it. And they go out to Great Crossing, who ended up obviously winning it all. But they had some big time games. They turned a lot of heads, and a guy like Caden Greed really used that to his advantage and really helped his recruitment. But how was it to see your good coaching friend, and even more, just a great life friend and Coach Jason Mays out there still having fun and coaching at the age of 50? He told me that. That might not be old to some people, but I thought Coach Mays might have been 40.
Man, I'm telling you, what I'm grateful for, and I've told him personally, is when I was an assistant for him in my younger days, he recognized very early my passion for coaching and went out of his way to mentor me, teach not necessarily X's and O's and plays to run after timeouts, but how to run a program, how to schedule, how to raise money, how to build relationships with your players, all the things that go into running a basketball program. He really took time to slow down and teach me, that helped prepare me for the abrupt change that took place in 22, 23. But I was so happy for him and that team that they made that run. I knew that he would turn it around there based on my conversations with him, based on watching his team play. And he'll continue to be really good and very competitive in the 10th region. You mentioned he's 50, but he coaches with the energy level of someone much younger than that, which is another takeaway. To have energy and generating energy throughout your team. He was really good at that, and that was a big takeaway for me. And I've been really blessed and fortunate to not only have played for really good coaches. I've also coached under some very good coaches as well. I played for Buddy Biggs and Mike Flynn, who are two. Mike Flynn's a Hall of Famer. I believe Buddy Biggs is in the 10th Region Hall of Fame. Uh, I spent a year with Wes Scarberry at Model High School, who does a fantastic job. And then I was fortunate enough to work for Jason, and I spent a year coaching under Buddy Biggs. So I've been able to take bits and pieces from each person that I've worked with to kind of develop my own philosophy in terms of how I want to do things. And I don't forget that. And I make sure I go out of my way to tell those guys who have mentored me that I'm very grateful for them.
For sure, Coach. You mentioned it. Coach, I can't imagine a world Coach Mays isn't coaching until he's about 75 years old, man. I mean, his energy, he's 10 years younger with the energy he coaches with. And you guys are both going to have really time-long careers. It's good to see you guys both come from that same staff and the success you guys have had. But, Coach, I've really enjoyed talking to you today, man. I know I held you a little longer than I had promised, but it was good talking to you, kind of talking about things 16th, Ashland Blazer, off the floor, the squads you've had. It's been a fun last 3 years for sure. And I know you're excited to keep it going. A lot of Ashland Blazer fans tuning in today. Kind of leave something off for them tuning in, Coach.
Pretty support of the last seasons. It's been phenomenal. This community really cares about their high school athletics, and that's one of the things that makes Ashland so special to the players, coaches, parents, fans, everybody that has a hand in this. Just appreciate you guys, and I think that we're going to be able to put a product out on the floor come December that's going to be very, very exciting to watch. May change our name to the Kentucky Thoroughbreds because we're going to be playing fast, fast, fast. But, Coach, I appreciate you, man. This has been fun. I always love getting to talk basketball, and I look forward to seeing you in Lexington this coming week.
Of course, you too, Coach Bonner. I'm excited to see you there, man. Keep it up. Keep up the great work. We'll talk again soon.
All right, thanks.
Of course. That was Coach Ryan Bonner of Ashland Blazer, 3-time 16th Region Coach of the Year. The man's a beast. The man's a winner. The man does it at a high level. But I'm really excited to welcome on our next guest, Coach Tavon Johnson. There's not many coaches out there that have the swag that this guy has. Coach Tavon is a beast off the floor. I just seen him smile at me up there in the top corner. He knows he's got swag. That's the thing. Coach has been looking swole. I told him the other day, man, you've been in the gym. Coach looks really good right now. Coach has been grinding too. Coach Tavon's coaching with Kentucky Basketball Club 17U, our only shoe circuit team in the state of Kentucky that plays at that level. So I know that's something that he's really enjoying. I actually see the Puma logo out of the corner of my eye. So let's welcome Coach Tavon Johnson onto the show, man, and let's talk all things Central Hardin basketball. Coach T, what's up, man? How you doing, bro?
Doing good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to have you on, Coach. Kind of tell me how you've been. I feel like I've seen you 10 times in the last week with the WKU team camp, but kind of tell me how you've been and what you've been up to.
Man, I've been good, man. Just summer basketball. Like you said, you see me at Western Camp. We've been playing a lot of games, so just dealing with that, trying to see, get ready for next year, seeing what I got this year.
No, for sure, Coach. I got to mention there, you guys are coming off of some really good season at Central Hardin. You guys had lost a piece like Brett Decker, lost some other seniors, and a lot of people might have not known how good necessarily Central Hardin was going to be, but you guys win 19 games. You bring the best out of a lot of players that some people didn't know about statewide. I think one of those names is Camden Hogan. He's kind of shot up the rankings. He's kind of shot up people's attention. A lot of people have him as a potential 5th region player of the year. And, there's many other names I'm not talking about that's going to be big time. I'm another big fan of a guy like Carson Nichols. Kind of tell us about this Central Hardin team you got right now, some of the players that make this team special, and how was last season? We talked to Coach Bonner a little bit about having a lot of new faces around, getting playing time. How is it with this group, and how did you guys kind of adjust to that last year?
Let's talk about last season. Like you said, mentioned earlier, losing a senior class with like Brett Decker, not arguably, he is the best player in Central Hardin history. Losing players, like I said, like Ace Jaggers, 1,000-point scorer, Donovan Stone, my kid transferred from Bardstown. I mean, year one was year one for me. Like I said, losing those guys going into year two. I knew guys like Carson Nichols and Cam Hogan were good, but I told them, like, you got to prove to everyone else. Like, I seen you every day. Like I said, in year one, there was times I would make Cam Hogan guard Brett Decker just to see if he was going to back away from it. Carson Nichols guarding Ace Jaggers and competing. Like I said, that first year, my first group versus second group practices were very, very intense. So that led into last season coming up. I mean, like I said, no one knew what to expect. All they knew was, Brett Decker was gone. What's next for Central Hardin? And like I told him, like I said, it was no sugarcoat. The guys laughed like the Brett Decker era is over. Love Brett to death, but Central Hardin basketball goes on without him. So like I said, we got in the gym, we grinded, played a million summer games last year. Went through that just to see what I got, what we had going on. Then like I said, season progressed. We continue to get better and things like that. Cam Hogan's a really good player. Like I said, led the fifth region in scoring for majority of the time until Connor Lloyd took it over, which is a tremendous basketball player. Carson Nichols exploded on the scene, averaged I think 16 and 6, playing the stretch four for me. So last year was a very, I mean, it was a successful one for us. Obviously, we didn't reach our goal of winning the district, winning the region, and then going to state. I mean, those are my goals every single year. I don't care if I have the best team or one of the worst teams. It's just a thing I learned when I was at Barstown. Our goals is to win district, win region, win state. And those goals are never going to change. Like I said, I think you got to strive for the top and strive for the high and then see what comes out of it.
No, for sure, Coach. Recently, you took over that position as the head coach of the Kentucky basketball club, which is a loaded team, Coach. I mean, there is so much talent there. Mostly, I think the whole team is Kentucky-bred guys. You know, everybody's right here from the state of Kentucky. We got Gabe Wise, who's obviously playing in Indiana, but from Washington County. But to kind of talk about this position you got, man, and playing with this group of guys. I know you've got to play with them at the circuit level so far, and you guys had really good outings. Kind of tell me about taking that position and what it means to you to coach Kentucky's only shoe circuit team at that level.
Yeah, like I said, I was blessed when I got the phone call from May Stallworth, Coach Thomas Nelson, and George Cosby, son Xavier Cosby at Trinity. They called me, asked me for the opportunity to come on in the middle of the year. Like I said, it was an opportunity I couldn't really turn down. So I got got the call on a Sunday. We practiced on a Wednesday and left for Thursday morning to go to Wichita, Kansas. But like I said, those groups, man, like they're high level. They're real high level. Like I said, it has to be coming from a shoe team. Like I said, the Puma circuit is I didn't know what to really expect. I follow them on social media and see what they got, but to experience it live action it's a tough circuit. Like I said, and our team is kind of loaded with guys like Jonathan Moss, Jalen Crane out of Caverna. We had Gabe, you know what I'm saying, De'Aaron Watkins out of Davis County, Demarcus Surratt, Frederick Douglass, Xavier Cosby, Trinity, Jackson Steffens, Henry Clay, Tayshawn Adams, Brian Station. Like I said, those guys, those names I just mentioned are well known around the state. And those guys come to bring it. Like I said, I mean, we're ranked 5th in the Pro 16. I mean, some people didn't expect us to be there, but that 5-0 record in Wichita, like I said, it was huge for us. It was real huge. Those guys are really talented. And sometimes, like I said, I mean, as a coach, the players make the coach look better than what we really are. And those guys, I mean, I got 8 guys you can trust with the ball in their hands to make plays. But the biggest thing is you get guys on that level, they're unselfish. They're super unselfish. They play for a purpose. They're playing for each other. They're playing to help change each other's lives. Like exactly, I mean, one scholarship can change the next person's life, and they understand that the better they play as a team, the better everybody eats. Just like I said, I love coaching that group.
No, for sure, Coach. When I think a lot of people had good expectations, but this good, I don't know, man. Because when you kind of have a program that it's their first real year, kind of playing at that level, there can be a lot of concerns. People might not know what happens, but man, I think so far, if anyone says it's not been a great year so far, I don't know what they're on.
Yeah,
but Coach, we got to talk about this Friday. There's a big time event you're hosting up there. I'll be in the building. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of basketball up at Central Hardin. A lot of people's kind of getting to see the post and everything, and it's a tournament. A lot of times at these summer events, you don't get to play more than one game or 2 games in the day. You guys got a long tournament, consolation, winners bracket. Tell us about this Central Hardin shootout, where it's at. Just kind of tell me all about it, Coach.
Okay, so the shootout, like I said, a big thing. The idea, I'm going to start with the idea. I'm a big guy on social media, and I just follow a bunch of teams, whether it's college teams, high school teams in other state. And then I got this idea from Alabama Huntsville, team in Huntsville, Alabama, really good, had a bunch of 5-stars, kids. And they do a summer jam like this as well. I mean, obviously, there's a lot bigger than what I'm putting on. They use multiple 4 or 5 gyms. They even have a JV bracket and things like that. So I just wanted to find ways to bring that type of environment to Kentucky. Like I said, first of all, I looked at my resources and see if we could put it on. We have beautiful facilities, which people will see on Friday. I mean, brand new oxygen, main gym redone. I mean, concession stand area. I mean, it's going to be very, very. We got the resources to do it. Then, like the idea, decided to do 16 teams. 2 games guaranteed. Obviously, you win your second game, you get more games. You get a third game, and so on. So just wanted to put something together to just get some excitement, bring teams in. Year one is going to be year one. I just put it out there, the idea out there to coaches, and see who would bite and who would come and be a part of it. And I got some great feedback from some really good teams. I mean, you got teams like the Louisville area. You got Holy Cross. You have McCracken County coming down. Meade County at the third region. Fairdale, who has, like I said, the Kamari Robertson, Fernandez Wright. Coach Denton does a great job there as well. John Harden out of our district. Washington County at the fifth region. Taylor County at the fifth region. Butler County's coming down. I'm trying to think of some more teams I'm probably forgetting. But like I said, it's just a great event. Like I said, it's going to be really, really good. I'm glad to have you there. We'll have camera by film by Darius to be there all day, capturing the whole entire event. We'll have hospitality rooms for coaches. We have a morning breakfast hospitality. It's going to be full of Haydorn's Bakery from Barstown. Haydorn's Bakery has some really good donuts, and they said the Yum Yums is really good as well too. I'm a picky eater, so I don't eat it. So like I said, just give that. Then we'll switch over for a lunch hospitality to make sure that the coaches are fed the right way. Like I said, we'll have certified officials. I even have officials that seen the event. They're coming up from Nashville, coming up to do the event. Local fifth region officials. We're going to run it, and we're going to treat hospitality with good services. Like I said, we want to make this event not just a one year thing. We want to make it something that we can come back every year for.
No, for sure, Coach. It's going to be a great inch in everything that's going to make it special. The coach are getting treated well. There's going to be a few college coaches in the building. I seen you tweet it out. So I think it's going to be a perfect event, especially for some of these just 1-2 game events. This would obviously to play more than just one game. So I think that's going to be big time. And then if you're the lucky teams that make it far, you get to play in the championship game that'll go, I think, starts at 7. So it's going to be a really loaded event, man. I think one game that everybody's going to be excited to see is Warren Central and Grayson County, especially them matching up in the first killer game one. We seen them at WKU team camp, but I think it's going to be a loaded event, man, and I'm really excited for it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I got a tweet today. I think it was of somebody from the fourth region. They was it was like that Grayson County Warren Central in the first round, which again, like I said, I mean, it wasn't meant to do that just to X one of the teams out. But I mean, when you're dealing with an event, you have schedule requests. Some teams can come later. Some teams want to play a top matchup out of one of their 2 games. I mean, you're just trying to give everybody the best of the best. Obviously, like I said, I can't get requests from everybody, which a lot of teams they wasn't many requests besides time changes and things like that. But I mean, those are the matchups you want to see in the summer. I'm sure, like I said, talking to Coach Unslow and Grayson County's coach, they're looking forward to that matchup in the first round.
Yeah. No, and I know those guys want it, man. They want competition. They don't want anything easy. I know Coach Jay doesn't at all. But I'm really excited for it, man. A lot of the top players in the state of Kentucky will be there, so that's another big grab. A lot of people's interested to see it. Sometimes maybe in Hardin County, you can't see a team like McCracken, Miles Woodford, Jay Martin. So I think it's going to be really intriguing, Coach. You were named KBC, the Kentucky Coaches Board, the 2024-2025 fifth region coach of the year. With it only being your 7th year as the head coach at Central Hardin, how did it feel to get that award, and what did it mean to you?
It felt good. It felt good to be recognized by other coaches around the region as one of the top coaches in the region for that year. But I tell the same thing I told our news enterprise the thing. This is not an individual award. This is a program award. I don't win this award without, like I said, my assistant coaches, my players, my administration, like that. I don't win that award without them. They go to grind, they go to bat for me every single day. The practices are a grind. My coaches help like that. Yes, my name's on it, but it's a program award. This is not a Tavon Johnson award. This is a Central Hardin award. But it felt really good just to be. It shows that our program's moving in the right direction. And that's what we always want. I tell the guys, let's be better. Let's be better today than we were yesterday. Let's be better next year than we were last year. Like I said, going into year 3, I mean, we're inching closer and closer and closer. So it's about growth. We always want to be better and get growth. Like I said, I mean, so it felt good, like I said, as a program.
Coach, the 5th region right now is kind of at an all-time high because you think about the season it had last year, how so many teams were great, so many teams competed, so many teams had the ability to go out and make a surprise run every night. Greene County, a lot of times, was the favorite. You see what a team like North Hardin does. Caverna made a little bit of a run. And it's just you see these teams every night. 5th region truly is one of those regions where somebody can get the best out of somebody every night. And I think that's what makes it so competitive. It's filled with talent. This year, some people had said, well, I think the 5th region dies down. down a little bit. But, I mean, we've seen a lot of new guys enter the region. We've seen new head coach hires, just like Coach Richard Gatewood with Caverna recently. Jordan Bringers decides, hey, I'm going to coach, and he coaches Adair County. And, obviously we've had some guys and, move on, not coaching anymore. For instance, Coach Jordan Gilbert, he's still in the 5th region. He leaves Greene County, but he goes just up the road to Nelson County. And the things he's doing for that program, man, kind of rebuilding him. I know he's going through a lot right now. Really wanted to mention him. But the 5th region right now, it feels like last year was that big-time year, man, that really got a lot of people's attention. But the 5th region has always been ultra-competitive. And I know you know the 5th region a lot. You've been around it for a long time. Kind of tell me what makes this region special, man. Is it the coaches? Is it the players? And how do you expect it to be this year?
I mean, it's like I said, being around the 5th region all my life. I played in the 5th region and I coached in the 5th region. But to answer your question, it's a mixture. You have Hall of Fame coaches such as, like I said, Coach Hare. You have Coach Brewer over at Bardstown. I mean, you have a lot of big-time coaches, big-name coaches, and then the players. I mean, you look at it, I mean, from the last couple of years, I mean, we had a lot of Division I players just in the last few years. I mean, you have, like you mentioned, Brett Decker, Aiden Evans, Daniel Allens, Thomas Moore, and to go on and on. I mean, we had a Mr. Basketball years to come. I had a Stephon Pettigrew. Like, the 5th region from top to bottom is always very competitive. And I think it's one of those things as a 5th region guy, we feel slighted just a little bit. People never really mention us. They mention, like I said, the Louisville, the Lexingtons, the other ones. Like, we can play down here in the 5th as well too. And I think people just don't really get to come to the 5th as much. We got to go to those places and we got to prove ourselves. But the 5th region is no slouch. If teams come into the 5th thinking they're just going to get an easy win, I mean, we got other things to tell them there. Like I said, 5th region, we're hungry. We're hungry to get to notoriety and get the respect that we feel like we deserve here.
For sure, Coach. I think you hit the nail on the head. When you look at some of the state of Kentucky, obviously, like you mentioned, maybe if you ask a guy from Louisville or Lexington or Bowling Green, a name they might think of won't be out of the 5th region. But if you ask people who really keep up to date, the 5th region is loaded with elite coaches and the players, man. Every year it feels like we get new batches of players who will play at that next level. And I'm really excited for it this season, man. I think it's going to be ultra competitive. We got some new faces. We got some guys back into coaching. And we got some really underrated players. But more importantly, we got some star players who's going to make a lot of noise. So I'm really excited for it. Coach, Central Hardin, man, is not going anywhere. You guys are going to compete this year again. I know you expect a lot out of this team. You guys got a lot of talent. The Central Hardin community's tuned into tonight's show. Kind of leave us off with something, Coach. Kind of hype up those guys on your team, talk about them a little bit more, and then kind of say something to the Central Hardin community and how they've treated you at your last few years here at Central Hardin, man.
Okay, just kind of going into next season. Like I mentioned earlier, win the district, win the region, go to state, win state. Our guys are grinding. I'm putting them in adversity challenges. We played Monday, Tuesday in Lexington Catholic. I'm coming off WKU. Play tomorrow at North Bullitt, then turn around and play Friday. Like, we're playing a lot of games, like I said, but these guys are built for it. Guys like Camden Hogan, Carson Nichols, Cannon Elmore coming back from the starting lineup. Got a transfer, Robert Bertolucci coming in from John Hardin is playing well for us this summer as well. Developing younger talent as well. Like I said, our freshmen and JV are playing just as many talent. Like I said, like you mentioned, Central Hardin is here to stay, and we're just going to grind. We're going to grind. And just go to the Central Hardin community. Like I said, I'm thankful. I'm appreciative that they allowed a coach, to come in and me be their coach. Like I said, again, I applied for the job with no head coaching experience, and I was blessed to be the one they hired. And like I said, we're just going to keep grinding to soon bring them the championships I feel like they deserve, because we got a great environment, a great community, great administration. Like I said, and I love Central Hardin.
Coach, I'm really excited for this Friday event. If you maybe missed us talking about it just a few minutes ago, remember the show will be available to watch after it stays on the profile. I'll have Coach Jay share it to his, and I'll have Coach Bonner earlier share it in case maybe you're tuning in a little late. But, Coach, I know you said you don't do interviews and stuff too much, getting on here, but, man, I'm excited to have you. I really enjoyed having you tonight, man, and I'm excited to see you Friday. It was good seeing you at WKU camp, and keep it up, man. And, Central Hardin, man, it's going to be a fun year this year, Coach.
Good to see you this Friday, man. I appreciate you covering the event again.
Of course, man. Tavon, I'll talk to you Friday, man. I'll see you.
See you, man.
See ya. Coach Tavon Johnson of Central Hardin tuning into the show to talk all things Central Hardin, the event coming up this Friday, and then how underrated of a team they got. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you tuning into the Joe Show tonight. It was a great show. We got to talk to Coach Bonner. We got to talk to Coach Tavon Johnson of Central Hardin. My schedule this week, it's to finish off the week, it's still a little busy. Tomorrow we'll be at Lindsey Wilson Team Camp to see Caverna, Greene County, Bowling Green, other teams there. June 13th, like I said, we got the Central Hardin Shootout, and then next week we get ready for the Lexington Catholic Live Period event. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the Joe Show. It's been another great episode. Thanks to all our sponsors and the fans who make it possible. Tune in next time. We'll see you.